Let's get right into it. Number 10. The Hypnic Jerk. You're just drifting off to sleep. The world is soft and quiet. Your thoughts are turning into pleasant nonsense, and you've finally achieved a state of near-perfect tranquility. Then, without warning, you feel like you've just been kicked off a 10-story building. Your entire body convulses, your heart jackhammers against your ribs, and you gasp for air, fully awake and convinced you just narrowly escaped death by gravity. This, my friends, is the Hypnic Jerk, your body's way of saying, just kidding about that whole relaxation thing. So what's the deal? Why does your meat and bone vehicle decide to perform an emergency system reboot just as you're logging off for the night? The leading theory is that it's a glitch left over from our primate ancestors. As your muscles relax and your breathing slows, your brain, specifically the ancient paranoid part that still thinks you sleep in trees, sometimes misinterprets this as you falling. It panics. It screams, "We're falling out of the coconut tree! Wake up, you fool!" and sends a massive electrical jolt to all your muscles to try and catch you. Your modern brain, which was busy dreaming about finally organizing its spice rack, gets this red alert and has no idea what's going on. It just knows there's a sudden feeling of falling and a violent twitch, and it tries to make sense of it. The result is a half-second nightmare that feels terrifyingly real. It's a physiological false alarm, a full-body panic attack triggered by the simple act of falling asleep too efficiently. It's basically your nervous system's fire drill, except the building was never on fire and you were just trying to get some rest. Number 9. Phantom Vibration Syndrome. Your phone is not buzzing. I'm just going to say that again. Your phone, sitting silently on the table across the room, is not vibrating in your pocket. But you felt it, didn't you? That faint, specific buzz against your leg. You instinctively reach down, pat your pocket, and find nothing but lint and existential dread. Welcome to Phantom Vibration Syndrome, the most 21st century neurological glitch imaginable. This isn't just you being weird. Surveys show that something like 80% of people who carry a phone experience this. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It loves finding patterns so much that it will invent them where they don't exist, like seeing a face in a burnt piece of toast or thinking your cat is plotting against you. After years of associating a specific faint tingle in your thigh with a dopamine hit in the form of a text or a notification, your brain has become overeager. It's like Pavlov's dog. But instead of salivating at a bell, your sensory cortex just starts firing off buzz, buzz signals at the slightest rustle of your pants fabric or a minor muscle twitch. Your brain has essentially created a shortcut. It's learned that faint tingle on leg equals important social interaction pending. Now your hypersensitive nervous system is constantly scanning for that signal. The bar for what constitutes a vibration has been lowered to an absurd degree. It's the neurological equivalent of being so hungry for pizza that you start thinking a red car looks delicious. Congratulations! You've trained your brain to be so anxious about a text message that it's now hallucinating. Welcome to the future. Number 8. The sun sneeze. Imagine your body's emergency dust ejection system being wired directly to the sun. That sounds like a design flaw from a budget sci-fi movie, but for about a quarter of the population, it's just called walking outside on a sunny day. This is the photic sneeze reflex, a phenomenon where looking at a bright light, like the sun, a light bulb, or the screen of someone who refuses to turn down their phone's brightness, causes an uncontrollable, violent sneeze. Its official, very serious-sounding name is autosomal dominant compelling helio-ophthalmic outburst syndrome, or for short, the HU syndrome. Yes, really, science has jokes. What in the world is going on here? The best guess is a case of crossed wires in your brain. Your cranial nerves are packed together up there like a bowl of spaghetti. The trigeminal nerve, which is responsible for sensations in your face and triggers sneezes when your nose is irritated, runs right next to the optic nerve, which carries light signals from your eyes to your brain. When a sudden blast of bright light hits your retina, the optic nerve fires off a massive signal. The theory is that this powerful signal leaks, or crosstalks, over to the neighboring trigeminal nerve. Your brain, receiving this sudden, intense signal on the trigeminal line, gets confused. It doesn't know it's light. It just knows its sneeze nerve is screaming. So it does the only thing it knows how to do. It initiates the sneeze protocol. It's a neurological typo, a case of crossed wires that turns you into a light-activated pepper shaker. Number 7. Brain freeze. There are few betrayals as swift and as personal as a brain freeze. One moment, you're in a state of pure bliss, enjoying a slushie or a scoop of ice cream. The next, a demonic ice pick is being hammered into the space between your eyes. You're left clutching your head, contorting your face in agony, wondering what you did to deserve this punishment from the frozen dessert gods. The official term for this cranial crisis is sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia, which is just a fancy way of saying your head really hurts. This sudden intense pain isn't actually your brain freezing. Your brain has no pain receptors, which is good, because if it did, thinking too hard might be excruciating. The pain is coming from the roof of your mouth. When something intensely cold touches your soft palate, the blood vessels there constrict rapidly. This is your body's emergency response to the cold, trying to conserve heat. But then, to prevent tissue damage from the lack of blood flow, it immediately overcompensates by dilating them just as quickly. This rapid-fire constriction and dilation sends a massive pain signal screaming up a major nerve in your face, the trigeminal nerve, our sneezy friend from before. This nerve is responsible for most of the sensation in your face. The brain, being a bit of a drama queen, gets this intense pain signal and gets confused about its exact origin. It interprets the pain as coming from your forehead. It's a classic case of referred pain, like when a heart attack causes pain in your arm. Except this is caused by enjoying a milkshake a little too enthusiastically. It's your body's way of telling you to slow down, you animal. Number 6. Goosebumps. Picture this. You're watching a scary movie or listening to a powerful piece of music, or maybe you just stepped into a slightly chilly room. Suddenly, the skin on your arms and neck prickles up, creating 1,000 tiny bumps and making your hair stand on end. These are goosebumps, or as scientists call it, piloerection. It's a completely useless, involuntary reaction that makes you look like a freshly plucked chicken. So why does your body, a supposedly efficient machine, bother with this strange little ritual? The answer is you're not hairy enough for it to matter anymore. Back when our ancestors were significantly more fuzzy, goosebumps served two very important purposes. First, when it was cold, making all the hairs stand on end would trap a layer of air close to the skin, creating an insulating barrier. Think of it as a natural built-in puffy jacket. Second, when threatened, puffing up all the fur made the animal look bigger and more intimidating to a potential predator. It's the same reason a scared cat arches its back and fluffs up its fur. Your body still has the hardware for this. Tiny little muscles at the base of each hair follicle called erector pili. When your sympathetic nervous system is triggered by cold, or a strong emotion like fear or awe, it tells these muscles to contract. The muscles pull the hairs upright and you get goosebumps. The problem is, our pathetic little body hairs are too fine to trap any meaningful amount of air or intimidate anyone. So now, you're left with an ancient, defunct defense mechanism that just gives you weird skin texture during the emotional climax of a Pixar movie. Number 5. Contagious yawning. A yawn is a strange thing on its own. It's a deep, long inhalation followed by a shorter exhalation, an action we associate with being tired or bored. But the real glitch isn't the yawn itself. It's the fact that it's a virus. Once you see someone else yawn, or even just read the word yawn, you might find your own jaw starting to stretch. Oh wait, see? It's almost impossible to resist. This isn't about a sudden shared drop in oxygen levels in the room. This is a purely psychological bug in our social programming. Scientists used to think we yawned to get more oxygen to the brain, but that theory has been largely debunked. The current leading theory is far weirder. It's about empathy. Contagious yawning is strongly linked to our capacity for social bonding and understanding the emotional state of others. It's a subconscious, primitive form of communication. When you see someone yawn, your brain's mirror neuron system, the same part that makes you flinch when you see someone else get hurt, kicks in. It simulates the action you're observing. This empathetic response is so ingrained that it's more common among close friends and family than strangers. Studies have even shown that people who score higher on empathy tests are more susceptible to contagious yawning. So when you catch a yawn from a coworker in a boring meeting, you're not just mirroring their tiredness. You are, on a deep primal level, saying, "I see you. I understand your state of being." This meeting is indeed soul-crushingly dull. It's the most passive-aggressive form of social bonding our bodies ever invented. Number 4. The side stitch. You decide, in a moment of questionable judgment, to go for a run. You're 5 minutes in, feeling great, picturing your future as a marathon champion. Then a sharp stabbing pain erupts in your side. It feels like someone is methodically twisting a small knife just under your ribcage. This is the exercise-induced transient abdominal pain, or the side stitch. It's the universal sign that your body is filing a formal complaint against your sudden ambition. For something so common, the exact cause of a side stitch is surprisingly mysterious. There's no single, universally accepted answer, only a collection of very plausible, very annoying theories. The most popular one involves your diaphragm, the big muscle under your lungs that controls your breathing. When you run, you breathe harder and faster, and your abdominal organs, like your liver and stomach, are also jiggling up and down. The theory goes that the ligaments connecting these bouncing organs to your diaphragm get stretched and stressed. The diaphragm gets irritated and starts to spasm, causing that sharp localized pain. It's basically an internal tug-of-war between your breathing muscle and your jiggling guts. Another theory points to irritation of the parietal peritoneum, a membrane that lines your abdominal cavity. As you bounce around, friction and pressure can irritate this lining, causing pain. Either way, your body is essentially telling you that it was not designed to have its internal components shaken like a snow globe. Number 3, Déjà Vu. This is the one, the mother of all simulation glitches. You walk into a room you've never been in, or have a conversation with someone for the first time, and a wave of overwhelming, eerie familiarity washes over you. You know this place. You've heard these exact words before. For a split second, you feel like you can predict what's going to happen next. This is déjà vu, French for already seen, and it's your brain's equivalent of a corrupted save file. There are dozens of theories about what causes this, but none are definitive, which only adds to the mystique. One compelling idea is that it's a tiny, momentary brain fart in the temporal lobe, the part of your brain responsible for memory formation and retrieval. Your brain is constantly processing new information and filing it away. A déjà vu experience might be a tiny neurological seizure or misfire, where a new, incoming experience is accidentally routed through the brain's short-term memory inbox and long-term memory archive at the exact same time. So you experience the event as both new and old simultaneously. Another theory suggests it's a split-second processing delay. Information from your senses might arrive at the processing centers of your brain at infinitesimally different times. One pathway gets the information a few milliseconds before the other. When the second signal arrives, the brain interprets it as a separate, older memory, creating that bizarre feeling of reliving a moment you're currently experiencing for the first time. Your brain is essentially saving the file twice in rapid succession, and then getting confused about which one is the original. Number 2, the hiccup. If you were to design a human body from scratch, the hiccup is a feature you would absolutely leave out. It serves no purpose. It is annoying. It is sometimes loud and embarrassing, and it can last for minutes, hours, or in rare, horrifying cases, years. A hiccup is an involuntary spasm of the diaphragm, followed by the vocal cords snapping shut, which creates that iconic hic sound. It's a full-body stutter, a neurological twitch with a soundtrack. So what causes this useless biological event? Usually it's irritation of the nerves that control the diaphragm, like the phrenic nerve. Eating too fast, drinking carbonated beverages, sudden excitement, or even a change in temperature can set it off. The signal gets scrambled, the diaphragm freaks out, and you're left with a series of pointless, rhythmic convulsions. It's like your body's internal percussion section decided to start a solo without consulting the rest of the orchestra. But the truly weird part is where hiccups might have come from. One fascinating evolutionary theory suggests that the hiccup is a leftover reflex from our distant amphibian ancestors. The specific motor pattern of a hiccup, a sharp intake of breath followed by the closing of the glottis, the opening between the vocal cords, is incredibly similar to how tadpoles and lungfish breathe, pumping water across their gills while closing off the path to their lungs. It's possible that the neural circuit for this ancient form of breathing is still buried deep in our brainstems, and every now and then it gets accidentally triggered. So, your hiccups might just be your inner tadpole trying to say hello. Number 1, sleep paralysis. We've covered some weird and annoying glitches, but this one is pure, unadulterated nightmare fuel. This is the blue screen of death for the human body. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. You can see your room, you can hear everything, you are fully conscious, but you cannot move. You can't speak, you can't scream, you can't even twitch a finger. You are a prisoner in your own body. To make matters infinitely worse, you often feel an immense pressure on your chest, as if something is sitting on you, and you may begin to hallucinate shadowy figures in the corners of your room. This is sleep paralysis, and it's a terrifying desynchronization between your brain and your body. During REM sleep, the stage where you have your most vivid dreams, your brain secretes a neurotransmitter that paralyzes your voluntary muscles. This is a brilliant safety feature called REMatonia. It's what prevents you from physically acting out your dreams, so you don't go sleep karate chopping your bed frame while dreaming you're a ninja. Sleep paralysis is the glitch that happens when your conscious mind wakes up before this paralysis has worn off. You become aware, but your body is still in sleep mode. Your mind is in the real world, but your body is still locked in the dream world. This sensory mismatch is terrifying, and the brain, in its panic, tries to make sense of the situation. Why can't I move? Why does my chest feel heavy? The brain's answer is to fill in the blanks with the oldest, most primal fears imaginable. A demon, an intruder, an alien. It's not a ghost in your room, it's a ghost in your machine. A terrifying temporary system failure, where the user wakes up before the hardware has finished booting. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.